Batting third and playing second base, a senior from Throop, Pennsylvania, number 24, Vince Rebar. The cleanup hitter and first baseman, a junior from Peckville, Pennsylvania, number 11, Matt Stayback. Catching and batting fifth, a senior from Seaford, New York, number 13, Tommy Smith. In right field and batting sixth, a sophomore from Hawley, Pennsylvania, number 2, David Ortiz. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, a freshman from Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, number 10, Chase Jones. Batting eighth and playing third base, a freshman from Middletown, Delaware, number 28, Mitch Clemens. In center field and batting ninth, a senior from Monroe, New York, number 1, Joseph Meehan. And pitching today for the Pacers, a junior right-hander from Scranton, Pennsylvania, number 32, Casey Reed. The interim co-head coaches for Marywood are Jason Thiel and Joe Diskin. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Gothic Knights of New Jersey City University, entering today's game with a record of 11-4 on the season. Leading off and playing center field, a sophomore from Teaneck, New Jersey, number 1, Dimitri Ruger. Batting second and catching, a senior from Avenel, New Jersey. He is the New Jersey Athletic Conference Player of the Week and the National Baseball Writers Association runner-up for National Hitter of the Week, number 24, Andrew Nish. Batting third and playing right field, a junior from Colonia, New Jersey, number 18, Joe Catino. The cleanup hitter and third baseman, a junior also from Colonia, New Jersey, number 13, Zach Buchholz. The designated hitter batting fifth, a junior from Hazlitt, New Jersey, number 9, C.J. Paulsini. At first base and batting sixth, a sophomore from Middlesex, New Jersey, number 14, Dan Berardi. Batting seventh and playing left field, a junior from Teaneck, New Jersey, number 8, Nick Racino. Batting eighth and playing second base, a junior from Middlesex, New Jersey, number 2, Jeff Ranicky. Batting ninth and playing shortstop, a freshman from Helmetta, New Jersey, number 7, Nick Logato. And on the mound today for the Gothic Knights, a freshman left-hander from Bordentown, New Jersey, number 25, Kyle Kafer. And the head coach for the Gothic Knights in his 5th season is Jerry Smith. Assistant coaches are Nick Cesare, Rob Pasternak, and Raj Subramanian. Team captain is Andrew Nish. Your umpires this afternoon behind the plate, Christopher Carroll. And in the field, John Kozar. Fans, welcome to the Thomas M. Garrity Athletic Complex here in Jersey City for today's broadcast of Gothic Knight Baseball here on NJCUGothicKnights.com. The Gothic Knights looking for win number 5 in a row as they are 11-4 overall, their best start in 36 years. The 1980 team started that season 11-3-1 and eventually, or actually 12-3-1 after 16 games before losing the rest of the way. Marywood comes in today at 4-8. They've lost 3 times so far in the Colonial States Athletic Conference. Be the first meeting here in Jersey City between these two clubs. Kyle Kafer will be throwing today for the Gothic Knights. Now, what we're going to do with the broadcast today, because I am suffering from a miserable sinus infection, and there's no way I can talk for 3 straight hours. So we're going to bring you the first inning. We're going to set the stage. We're going to keep the video on, and we're going to come back in key moments and bring you the action at that time. So Ira Thor with you live here from the Thomas and Garrity Athletic Complex in Jersey City, about 69 degrees. Mostly cloudy, breeze coming in off of the bay. Give you the lineup for both teams as Kyle Kafer.
Leading off the shortstop, number 9, Daniel Hull.
Christopher Carroll is the home plate umpire. John Kozar is the field umpire. And the first pitch to Daniel Hull is a called strike. It's Daniel Hull, the shortstop for Marywood for the Pacers, leading off. Left fielder James Goetz bats second and plays left field. That's foul towards us. Vince Rebar, the second baseman, is the number 3 hitter, and Matt Stayback is in a cleanup spot at first base. Tommy Smith is the catcher. He bats fifth. David Ortiz, the right fielder, hits sixth. Chase Jones, the designated hitter, bats seventh. Mitch Clemens is eighth at third base, and Joseph Meehan, the center fielder, bats ninth. The 0-2 pitch, and that's high. For the Gothic Knights defensively, Kyle Kafer throws to the NJAC Player of the Week, and the runner-up for the National Hitter of the Week, Andrew Nish, the Gothic Knight captain behind the dish, after playing first most of the year. That's fouled off to our right. At first is Dan Berardi. Jeff Reineke at second. Nick Legato gets the start at short. Zach Buchholz riding a 32-game on-base streak, one of the longest in the history of the NJAC, and the 4th longest in NJCU history. He's at third. That's inside. Left fielder, Nick Racino. Dimitri Ruger in center field. Joe Catino, the right fielder. No changes there. That's what we see almost every day. And why not? When you're 11-4, keep on keeping on. That is high. So, after being ahead 0-2, Kafer, a 3-2 pitch coming, and that's high for ball 4. So Kafer overthrew that one, and Hull leads off with a walk. Now we'll bring up the left fielder, Goetz.
Now batting the left fielder, number 5, James Goetz.
And the first pitch by Kafer is high, and Andrew Nish will come out and have a chat with his hard-throwing lefty in his first year on the mound for the Gothic Knights after missing all of last year in what would have been his true freshman season after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Kafer has battled back nicely, and he's a pitcher who's going to be at the top of this rotation along with Mike Ramirez. Kafer also works for us in the athletic communications office, primarily during soccer and basketball season. That's a called strike. The official score during a lot of basketball games. Also checks in subs for soccer and does the scoreboard for us as well. So Kafer does a little bit of everything here at NJCU. We have 1 ball, 1 strike count. Belt high, strike 2. Hull at first. Kafer will throw over and check the runner. I'm going to hang in with you as long as I can here on the broadcast. I apologize for sounding congested. It feels a lot worse than it sounds, I can promise you that. The 1-2 pitch is in the dirt, pulled out by Niche. I'm currently on amoxicillin. Hopefully knock this out of my system. I'm on double Sudafeds. What else did they prescribe me? The 2-2 pitch is low, and we're faced with another 3-2 count. I learned yesterday, and I had no idea about this, but you need identification, and this shows how seldom I get sick. You need identification in the state of New Jersey now. They scan your license to actually buy Sudafed. That's hit in the air, left center field. Ruger's going to come over in the gap and cut it off to hold Goats to a single. That sends Hull to second. But with nobody out here in the top of the first, 2 runners aboard. And Marywood will bring up their number 3 hitter, Rebar. Second baseman, number 24, Vince Rebar. He's a senior out of Throop, Pennsylvania. That's popped in the air, first pitch. Kafer points up. Berardi and Reineke there. Reineke calls off his first baseman. Backpedals as the wind took a hold of that one. Made the catch as he tumbled to the new turf here at the Thomas Garrity Athletic Complex that was freshly redone and regraded this offseason.
Now batting the first baseman, number 11, Matt Stayback.
Gothic Knights spent a good deal of money trying to redo this field for the first time in a number of years. It desperately needed it after being damaged by Hurricane Sandy back in 2012. First pitch hit in the air. Right center, Coutinho and Ruger are there. Ruger will make the catch and will throw to the cutoff man, Legato. Runner Hull advances. Runners on the corners, but now 2 away as Stayback is out.
Now batting the catcher, number 13, Tommy Smith.
So with runners on the corners, it'll be the number 5 hitter, the catcher Tommy Smith, coming to the plate. Senior out of Seaford, New York. This Marywood roster, as you would imagine, being from Scranton, Pennsylvania, has a lot of Pennsylvania hometowns on it, but there's also kids from New York and New Jersey, along with Delaware and Connecticut. Smith deals. That's a call. Smith deals. Kafer deals to Smith, and that's a called strike. There's a freshman pitcher, Billy McAuliffe, who's from Phillipsburg, New Jersey. We'll see who else from Jersey's on the roster. The 0-1 pitch is high. Freshman outfielder Kevin McDonough from Union, New Jersey. Freshman pitcher Nick DeCandias from Cresskill, New Jersey. Those are the 3 reserve players. Ground ball to Legato. He'll go to short way for the force. And the Gothic Knights get out of trouble here with good defense in the top of the first inning. So a fielder's choice to shortstop. Goats is retired 6-4 after the first 2 batters reached. The Pacers stranded here in the top of the first inning. 1 hit, 2 left on.
1 hit, 2 left on.
There's also 1 other player on this Marywood roster from Point Pleasant, Alan Dieto. So 4 players on the roster out of New Jersey. Let's take a look at the batting order today for the Gothic Knights.
No, but it's got to be in order. I got you.
It'll be Dimitri Ruger, the center fielder, leading off. Andrew Niche, the catcher, bats second. Joe Coutinho, the right fielder, is the 3rd hitter. Zach Buchholz, the cleanup hitter, at 3rd base. C.J. Polsini, typically behind the plate, will be the designated hitter after last night's game that started at 7 p.m. Didn't end until after 10, so it would be tough to come back and play back-to-back here. Dan Berardi, he'll bat 6th. He's the first baseman. Nick Rosino is the left fielder hitting 7th, with Jeff Reineke, the second baseman, hitting 8th, and Nick Legato, the shortstop, bats 9th. Casey Reed, the pitcher today, junior, right-hander out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. He'll throw to Tommy Smith. Matt Staybacks at first, Vince Rebar at second, Daniel Hull is the shortstop, and Mitch Clemens plays third. James Goetz is the left fielder, Joseph Meehan the center fielder, with David Ortiz, no, not Big Papi, just David Ortiz, in right.
Leading off the center fielder, number 1, Dimitri Ruger.
So Ruger will lead off for the Gothic Knights, hitting .245 on the season. But he has a .412 on-base percentage. He's walked 14 times. As bad as I feel right now, I feel worse for my high school friend Neil Gottlieb, who was on this season's Survivor on CBS, and last night was his last night on the show as he was medically evacuated due to a serious knee injury, knee infection, to be more accurate. Of course, I didn't know any of this because he was sworn to secrecy. And I thought he could have actually won the entire game had he stuck around, and hopefully gets another chance to play in a future season after being forced out of game to no fault of his own. The 2-0 pitch, bunt is dropped down by Ruger, perfectly placed. There is absolutely no chance to get Ruger with that speed. Aboard with a leadoff bunt single.
Now batting the catcher, number 24, Andrew Nish.
So after a 2-ball count, Ruger with a bunt single to the pitcher. And that will bring up Andrew Nish. All Andrew Nish did last week was hit 3 home runs in 3 consecutive games, drive in 9 runs, take home NJAC Player of the Week honors for the second time in his career, the first time since his sophomore year. Moving to third place all time in school history with 178 career hits coming into today's action. What else did Nish do this week? Oh, he was named to the D3 Baseball National Team of the Week at the DH spot. There goes Ruger to throw to second base. Is in time. And Ruger is caught stealing on the 2-6. And then just a few hours ago, Andrew Nish was named Honorable Mention National Hitter of the Week for the first time in his career by the National Baseball Writers Association of America. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball is off the plate. 1-1. As I was pretty upset when my friend got forced out of Survivor last night. Nish hits that deep in the air to center field. How far is that going to go? Andrew Nish, for the 4th time in 6 games, goes yard. And that one, unlike the others, really traveled a while. His 3 previous home runs, all to right field. This time, Nish hits it to the deepest part of the park, just to the right of the 400-foot sign in straightaway center field. Andrew Nish with his 179th career hit, his 4th home run of the season, and 9th home run of his career. I don't think there was a doubt about that one. And that's why he won a lot of awards this week. Joe Coutinho, the batter. Coutinho, after he takes a first pitch ball, the 1-0. That's low, it's 2-0. That's inside to Coutinho, and count is 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. Here's a ball at the ankles, and Coutinho will head down to first base after a 4-pitch walk. It's always interesting to see how a pitcher responds and answers after having a long home run hit against him. And Reed did not do well there as he threw 4 straight balls after Nish rocked him with a home run. He'll send up Zach Buchholz, the Gothic Knight third baseman, is riding a 32-game on-base streak, 4th longest in school history, top 8 all-time in the history of the NJAC. Shows you how many really good individual players the Gothic Knights have had here over the years to have that many players with long streaks that rank highly in the conference. The 1-0 pitch, and that hit Nish on the left arm. So hit by pitch, and Andrew Nish, after he hit the home run, is followed by 2 of his teammates on base. Joe Coutinho walks. Buchholz with the free pass on the hit by pitch. That extends his on-base streak to 33 straight games, and it will bring up the designated hitter, C.J. Pulsini. There'll be a meeting on the mound between one of the Marywood interim co-head coaches. They're in a situation where their head coach, their longtime head coach, resigned just several weeks ago, and their assistant coaches, Jason Thiel, a 2002 Marywood grad, and Joe Diskin, a 2011 grad, assumed the dual role of interim co-head coaches. So Pulsini looks at strike 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. That's off the plate on the curve, 2-1. Pulsini hitting .345 on the year. The 2-1. And that's inside. And it's 3-1. 1 out here, bomb in first. 1-0 Gothic Knights on the power of an Andrew Nish solo home run to center. The 3-1. Ground ball towards shortstop. Bobbled there to throw to second for the force is in time. So Buchholz is retired 6-4. Coutinho to third. And it'll bring up Dan Berardi.
Now batting the first baseman, number 14, Dan Berardi.
Berardi hitting .366. He had a key 2-run double yesterday as the Gothic Knights, in a game that was moved from Jersey City to the Bronx, and that's a line drive to left field, right at the left fielder, and the catch is made by Goetz. Berardi had a 2 RBI double in the 5-run 7th inning when the Gothic Knights, trailing 5-2, went up 7-5, and they won by that margin. Berardi on the first pitch lines out to left, hit it hard, but right at the left fielder Goetz. For NJC on the first, 1 run on 2 hits. There were 2 left on base.
The Knights, 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 left on.
I'm going to take a break here as I can barely breathe, but we're going to keep the video on, and we'll come back when the moment is right. You're watching Gothic Knight Baseball here on NJCUGothicKnights.com. Well, folks, this is one of those key moments that we promised we'd jump in for, so we will. After 2 walks to lead off the inning, Kyle Kafer then struck out Clemens and Meehan back to back. He now has a 1-2 count against the leadoff hitter in the lineup, Hull, the shortstop, who is the 5th hitter in this inning. Ortiz is at second. Jones is at first. Hull with a 1-2 count. Can Kafer strike him out and strike out the side after walking the first 2 batters? Or can Marywood tie this game at 1 apiece? The 1-2. That's hit in the air. Right center, Catino Ruger over. Ruger dives, and he can't make the catch off the tip of his glove. This will tie the game as Ortiz scores. Jones is behind him. He's going to come in. It's a long double to right center. Ruger slow to get up. And the Pacers take a 2-1 lead. Jones scores all the way from first with Ortiz from second on the 2-run double. They'll bring up Goetz, who singled in the first inning, and Kafer needs to retire him here and keep this a 1-run game. That's in the air, right field. Pretty deep with the wind blowing, but Catino is able to retreat and make the catch. So Goetz is out on the fly out to right, and in the second inning for Marywood, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Got the Nets will come up. we're back for a key moment check-in here in the bottom of the second inning. After Nick Racino reached on an error, he just stole second, and it'll bring up Jeff Reineke. A 3-ball count he will now face. Correction, 2 balls and a strike. With the tying run at second. That's high, so it's now 3-1. To Reineke hitting .275 on the year. Yesterday's game against Maritime was supposed to be a home game at 3:30. It eventually got moved to 4. That is low for ball 4, and Reineke walks. But Maritime, which has its students in midterms right now, could not get out of class in time to get here in Jersey City. So to accommodate, the Gothic Knights moved the game to a night game in Throgs Neck, New York, where they do have lights. There are no lights here at the Garrity Complex, and JC was able to prevail 7-5. Anthony Carey, the win in relief. A save by Ray Ligori. Legato drops down a perfectly placed bunt. He might beat this out for an infield hit, and he will. He was going for the sacrifice, but he literally deposited that in no man's land. No chance for the third baseman Clemens, the pitcher Reed, but before he reacted, the ball actually started curving back toward shortstop, and no chance for anyone. So bases are full for Dimitri Ruger. And Ruger lines it towards center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Racino will score. Reineke had to wait up momentarily because there was a chance for Meehan, the center fielder, to make the catch. It's an RBI single for Ruger, and the Gothic Knights have tied it at 2-2.
Now batting the catcher, number 24, Andrew Nish.
Legato went to second, Reineke to third. Racino's run is unearned, of course, as he reached on an error. And that will bring up Andrew Nish with no place to put him. The Gothic Knight catcher has accounted for the only run so far today with a home run to straightaway center. The NJAC Player of the Week with his 4th home run of the season and his 4th all in the last 6 games. And he'll step to the plate with a chance to do some further damage. Nish now has 22 RBIs on the year, 28 hits. Bounces in front of the plate. The catcher Smith picks it up and throws it back to Reed. Nish is putting up All-American type numbers right now as we approach the last game here in the month of March. That's off the plate, ball 2. And now Reed is really in serious trouble. Nowhere to put Nish. And he doesn't want to throw a pitch right down the middle because we've seen what can happen. The 2-0 pitch is high. Ruger at first, Legato at second, Reineke at third. Racino reached on an error, and he scored. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. A 3-0 pitch. That's a strike. Marywood scoring twice in the top of the second to take a 2-1 lead after Nish's home run in the first. 3 balls, 1 strike. Taking a lot of time was the pitcher Reed, and the home plate umpire Christopher Carroll grants time to Nish. The 3-1 pitch. Hit in the air to deep right center field. How far is that going to go? It's a grand slam for Andrew Nish. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs in this game, and the Gothic Knight lead has swollen to 6-2. Andrew Nish with a big smile as he hits a grand slam home run. And the Gothic Knights are going to hold on to that ball as Nick Cesare, I guess it's the umpire. Well, no souvenir for Nish. That's okay. That was career home run number 10 for Andrew Nish, by the way. 6-2 Gothic Knights. We'll be right back. There's going to be a new pitcher, I believe. Or are they going to keep Reed out here? What are they going to do? They're going to have a long chat with Reed. We're going to be back as Gothic Knights lead 6-2. We're back here with some bonus action after a double down the left field line by Catino. Buckholt struck out on 3 pitches, and that will bring up C.J. Pulsini. And that will send Smith out to have a conversation with the pitcher, Reed. Reed on the year, 0-1. This is his second start, his 5th appearance. He has an 18 ERA. That's going to go up. And a 4.67 opposing batting average. 1 strikeout, no walks in 3 innings. So ERA is inflated because much of that happened in a short sample of work. Pulsini with the foul tip. Still 1-2. That's inside Pulsini. Is he able to get out of the way of that one? Or is he? He thought he was hit. Home plate umpire Chris Carroll says he did not, so it's just a ball. So 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Pulsini. Ground ball. Unable to make the backhand when throwing the first, however, is Clemens for out number 2.
Now batting the first baseman, number 14, Dan Berardi.
So a 2-way. And my voice about shot, it'll bring up Dan Berardi, the first baseman. 6-2 Gothic Knights. Berardi will call time. He had a line drive right at the left fielder in the last inning. 9th hitter of the inning for the Gothic Knights. And Berardi hits it to center field. Meehan is there, screens his eyes, and makes the catch as Berardi's gone on the first pitch. In the second inning, for NJCU, 5 runs on 4 hits, including the Andrew Nish grand slam. There was an error and 1 left. It's 6-2 Gothic Knights after 2 innings. And we're back here for some bonus play-by-play, and Jones just hit a first pitch single up the middle after Marywood had back-to-back-to-back singles. The final one, a liner to left that Racino laid out for but couldn't catch. Bases loaded. First pitch, 2-run single for Jones, cuts the Gothic Knight lead to 6-2, the fourth straight hit for the Pacers. Ortiz went to second on that. Smith and Stayback, who both singled earlier, both scored. Slow ground ball to Buckholz. Throw to second for one. On to first. Not in time. Ortiz goes to third.
Now batting the center fielder, number 1, Joseph Meehan.
So Zach Buckholz with the 5-4. And now 2 runners on the corners after the fielder's choice. Now bring up the center fielder Meehan, and first pitch is fouled away. No balls, 1 strike. Ground ball, Kafer off the mound, can't handle it, leaves it for Buckholz to throw to first. Not in time to throw home. As Ortiz advances on the throw. And the Marywood Pacers have cut it to a 6-5 game.
Now batting the shortstop, number 9, Daniel Holt.
5th hit of the inning. Ortiz scores. And I'll bring up Hull here as the Pacers have made this a 1-run game. Hull is 1 for 1 today with a 2-run double. He's also walked. This is bonus action, as we're, again, not going to call every pitch today, as you can tell by my voice. I'm not feeling so hot. Line drive towards center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Ruger to it quickly. The throw is not going to be in time. 4 runs here in the top of the third. And after the niche grand slam gave the Gothic Knights a 6-2 lead, Marywood has battled back and tied it at 6.
Now batting the left fielder, number 5, James Goetz.
First pitch is popped foul. Another foul ball, and it's 0-2. So 4 runs and 6 hits here in the third for Marywood. That's inside. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 looking at the waist, and Kafer gets out of the inning. But not before Marywood scores 4 times on 6 hits. They strand 2. It's 6-6 as we head to the third. With the Gothic Knights leading here in the 4th inning, 7-6. We're back because it's Andrew Nish coming to the plate, and really for no other reason other than that. He's got 2 home runs today. Casey Reed, the pitcher for Marywood, with a big smile on his face when he saw Nish step to the plate. That's his nemesis right now. That's low. They're going to be very, very careful of Nish. First inning, he hit a solo home run. Second inning, he hit a grand slam. That's low as well. So 3-0. And while this is not an intentional walk, they're definitely pitching around him. The 3-0. That's low. Ball 4. Nish tosses the bat back to his teammates in the on-deck circle. He'll go to first
Now batting
with a leadoff walk.
Number 18, Joe Catino.
Joe Catino will step to the plate. We'll give you the Catino at bat, and then we will likely head back to just plain video. And that's way over the head of Catino. However, the backstop prevents a wild pitch. Catino doubled in his last at bat in the 2nd inning. He's also walked today. He's been on base twice. That's high. It's 2-0. The 2-0. Little low. The Marywood umpire dugout has the words for the umpire. They felt that was a strike, but it was called low. And Smith will go out to have a conversation with his pitcher, Reed. That's ball 4, so back-to-back 4-pitch walks. And that'll bring up Zach Buchholz. We'll stick with it for another batter.
Now batting the 3rd baseman, number 13, Zach Buchholz.
Seven 6 Gothic Knights. And that is low, so 9 straight balls here thrown. Buchholz extended his on-base streak to 33 consecutive games in the 1st inning. He's 0 for 1 today with a hit by pitch. It's called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. As off the plate, blocked by Smith, 2-1. That's high. The count is now 3-1 with nobody out. Catino and Nish both on via walks. That's a called strike. The count now full to Buchholz. And that is low. Ball 4. Third straight walk. That ball is flipped over the head of the pitcher, Reed. Not far enough, though, for Nish to try it for home. And why would he, anyway? With a very good hitter, C.J. Pulsini, coming up. And the base is loaded. And that's going to be it for Reed. He's done after 75 pitches, and the new pitcher will be number 23, Nick Nicandia. a freshman out of Cresskill, New Jersey. We'll be right back. Now we're back here for some bonus coverage as the Gothic Knights have the bases loaded. Nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning, leading 7-6 in a back-and-forth game highlighted by the bat of Andrew Nish, who's standing at third base after a leadoff walk, the first 3 walks here in the frame. Pulsini, the transfer from Felician, been in the lineup every day and done a fantastic job. The junior transfer came in mid-year. 333 in a year. New pitcher he will face is Nick DeCandia, freshman right-hander out of Cresskill, New Jersey in Bergen County, Cresskill High School. The 1-1. That's a curve off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Inside. And 3-1 to Pulsini with nobody out. And a ball here would push in the 8th run. The 3-1 is indeed ball 4, so Pulsini walks on 5 pitches. He gets an RBI out of the deal. Buckholz to second, Coutinho to third. That forces in Nish. Gothic Knights lead 8-6.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 14, Dan Berardi.
Dan Berardi steps in and he's hit the ball hard twice, once to left, once to center, but neither have found the grass, and he's 0 for 2. And first pitch strike. Bases still loaded. Chance for Berardi, who was hero yesterday, tying the game with a big 2-run double to help break this one open yet again. That is low for ball 2. That's in the dirt. Going to carry him to the cage, and nobody can advance. Backstop here at the Garrity Complex saves pitchers' ERAs and prevents a lot of runs from coming in on bad pitches. It also limits foul territory. The 2-1. And it's now 3-1 to Berardi. The 3-1. Check, swing. That's strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Berardi. Bases are loaded. Nobody out. Bottom of the 4th. The new pitcher DeCandia deals. Swing and a miss. Berardi down on strikes. And that is the first out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Now batting the left fielder.
And it'll bring up Nick Racino.
Nick Racino.
Racino scored twice today. He reached on an error, then he doubled in the 3rd and goaded the third baseman after a balk. Took him to 3rd, goaded the third baseman on the ground ball to throw to 1st, and he then took off and scored what was currently the go-ahead run, as that's fouled back right towards us. He waited, and as soon as the third baseman, Clemens, threw to 1st on a ground ball, Racino with his speed took off and scored, and was able to come in standing before the throwback from 1st. After the foul ball, the 0-1 pitch coming to the junior from Teaneck. That's low. 1-1 to Racino, the second team academic All-NJAC selection a year ago. He will be an academic All-America nominee when I submit those nominations in about 2 weeks. That is off the plate, 2-1. Will actually be one of several players on the Gothic Knight baseball roster who I have the chance to nominate this year. The 2-1 is low. Tickles the plate. And it's 3-1. Bases loaded. Coutinho at 3rd, Buckles at 2nd, Pulsini at 1st. They all walked. The 3-1. Racino swung and missed. Had what likely was ball 4. And the count is full 3-2 as it was to Berardi, the previous batter. Three balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. 8-6 Gothic Knights. Swing and a miss. Racino. He's upset with himself. He swung through ball 4 again. And back-to-back strikeouts swinging as both Berardi and Racino trying to break the game open.
Now batting.
Could not succeed.
Baseman number 2, Jeff Reineke.
It'll be Reineke, who's walked and grounded out. He's scored once. He'll come to the plate. Reineke hitting .269 now on the year. He's got 11 RBIs. And he's one of 4 players entering today's action that had double digits in RBIs already. Pulsini now a member of that club after the bases loaded walk. The left-handed hitter. That's low. I think he'll be a little bit more patient here. If I sound less than my chipper self, that's because I feel absolutely terrible. This sinus infection is kicking my rear end. And the 1-0 pitch is low. Right now it's Bacteria 1, Ira 0. I'm batting in the 3rd. The 2-0 pitch, that's a called strike. Swing and a miss. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Reineke swung through that, there was the wrong count on the scoreboard, and the catcher, Smith, was fooled. That's why he tagged. Reineke thought it was the third strike. The 2-2 from DeCandia. And that is indeed strike 3. And DeCandia comes in and is able to limit the damage with 3 straight strikeouts after 4 consecutive walks. 1 run, 3 left. Here in the 4th, it's 8-6 Gothic Knights. In the fifth inning for Marywood, no runs, no hits, nobody left. We head to the bottom of the fifth. It's 8-6 Gothic Knights. Marywood with an 8-7 edge in hits. We're back here for some bonus coverage here in the fifth, and partially because Andrew Nish is stepping to the plate. After Legato grounded out 1-3, and Ruger struck out swinging, Andrew Nish steps to the plate. Solo home run in the first, grand slam homer in the second. He walked and scored in the fourth. He's 2 for 2 with 5 RBIs and 3 runs scored. And fastball by DeCandia is a called strike. Nish, the powerful left-hander. That's low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Nish now with 93 RBIs in his career, 10 home runs, 180 hits. That's ball 2. It's 2-1. Very interesting to see when this year's over after Andrew graduates if he's going to have a chance to play at the next level. At a 2-1. Swing and a miss. And a fastball on the inside corner down at the Cavs. The Candia right-hander deals. Swing and a miss, but the ball got away. The throw is in time by the catcher Smith to stay back. And Niche chased that one and is gone for the first time today. So a KS and a 2-3 if you're scoring. Fifth inning for the Gothic Knights. And they go in order. We head to the sixth, 8-6 in JCU. Now we're back here in the bottom of the sixth with some bonus play-by-play action. Gothic Knights with one out and runners on first and second. Dan Berardi hits in the air, left field. Goats running towards the line, makes the catch for out number 2 after Buckholz and Pulsini walked back-to-back with one out. So Berardi has now flown out 3 times today with a strikeout.
Now batting the left fielder, number 8, Nick Racino.
The relief pitcher, Nick DeCandy, has done a really nice job. 2 and 2/3 innings. He's allowed no hits. He's walked 3. He struck out 6 over 50 pitches after the starter, Reed, didn't have it. Walked 5, struck out 1, gave up 7 earned runs, 8 total, and 7 hits in 3 innings. Nick Racino now steps to the plate after time is granted. The first pitch will be coming up. That's hit the air. Left field. Goats is there. He's going to come in a stride and make the catch. And the Gothic Knights unable to capitalize on the 2 walks. 6th inning for the Knights. No runs, no hits, 2 left. We head to the 7th. Bottom of the seventh inning in Jersey City, and we're back for some bonus coverage of play-by-play action. Gothic Knights with something going. After Reineke grounded out 4-3, Legato walked, and Dimitri Ruger for the second time today dropped down a bunt and beat it out for a single. So 2 on, and Andrew Nish with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs today pops up the first pitch. Shallow right field. Rebar, the second baseman, backpedaling, and he makes the catch. That's out number 2. So 2 away and 2 on. It'll be Joe Catino stepping to the plate. The Gothic Knights with an 8-6 lead. Catino today has walked twice, doubled, and struck out. He is 1 for 2. With the 2 walks, he has not scored. It's low and outside. Gothic Knights scored 1 in the first on the solo home run to center by Andrew Nish. 5 in the bottom of the second after Marywood had taken a 2-1 lead, including the grand slam by Andrew Nish after Dimitri Ruger had an RBI single. Gothic Knights added single runs in the third and fourth. Nobody has scored since the 4th inning. That's low. And it's 2-0 to Joe Catino. The 2-0 pitch is low. 3 balls and no strikes. The 3-0 pitch to Catino will wait as the pitcher to Candia, who already struck out 6, steps off. That's called strike. To Candia, who came on in relief of Reed. That came in the 4th inning. The 3-1. Bounces in front of the plate for ball 4. That's the second walk he's given up in this inning, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
Number 13, Zach Buckles.
The Candy now 3 2/3 innings. He's allowed 1 hit. Just that bunt single by Ruger. He struck out 6. He's walked 5. And he'll bring up Zach Buckholz. Buckholz today 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and 2 walks. Buckholz, ground ball to shortstop. Hole flips the short way to Rebar, and the inning comes to a close on the force play. So fielder's choice, and Catino's retired 6-4. The Gothic Knights leave the bases loaded. No runs, 1 hit. We head to the 8th.
No runs, 1 hit.
We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-0, or say 1-0. One runner on as CJ Pulsini with a leadoff walk. The Gothic Knights leading 8-6. There goes Pulsini. The throw to second base is not in time as he dives in feet first. So Pulsini with the steal, and the Gothic Knights with a runner in scoring position. That pitch was high for ball one. Pulsini, that's his 5th steal of the year. And we'll have a pinch runner at second base. It'll be Sean Earhart.
Pitch running for the Knights, number 28, Sean Earhart.
So now Earhart taking it over for Pulsini, who had another nice effort today. And it'll be Berardi. He has flown out 3 times to the outfield. Berardi was showing bunt. I would be surprised to see Berardi with his power, the number 6 hitter in the lineup, sacrificing here though. The 1-1 curve off the plate, 2-1. Storyline today has been Andrew Nish. 2 home runs, back-to-back innings, a solo shot, and a grand slam. 5 RBIs today. The 2-1 ground ball through the left side of the infield. That's a base hit. Earhart stops at third. He gets a stop sign from head coach Jerry Smith. And with nobody out, the Gothic Knights with runners on the corners. It'll be Nick Rusino, the left fielder,
Now batting the left fielder, number 8.
due up. But I think we're going to have a pitching change before that. And we will. And the new pitcher will be number 31, Justin Perez, right-hander from Levittown, New York. We'll be right back.
Only 8.
Gothic Knights just took advantage of the new pitcher, Perez. Berardi took off on the release. He steals second. Now the Gothic Knights with 2 runners in scoring position. Racino now hits in the air. Right field should be deep enough to score a run. Here comes Earhart, and he will score. Berardi goes to third, and it's 9-6 Gothic Knights as we approach 6 p.m. So a 1-ball count, and Racino flies out to right. That's a sac fly. Berardi to third, and Earhart scores. And pinch hitting for Reineke will be Taylor Bourne.
Number 3, Taylor Bourne.
Bourne hitting .320 on the season. And first pitch is a called strike. (9-6) NJCU. And Bourne fouls it off. And it's 0-2. Just one away here in the 8th. As the Gothic Knights looking for their 12th win of the year. The best start they've had to a season in 36 seasons. That's hit towards center field, where it's going to fall in for a base hit. Berardi scores. RBI single on a pinch hit by Taylor Bourne, and it's 10-6 Gothic Knights. So Nick Legato, the shortstop, will step in.
Number 7, Nick Legato.
Eli Pereira is in line to be the winning pitcher in relief. We're back to first, and Bourne dives in. Pereira came into today's game 1-0 in the season with a 2.25 ERA. He had thrown just 4 innings in his 2 appearances. Actually, just 1 appearance coming in. It was a start. And he's gone over that today. The throw to second base and in safely with a stolen base is Taylor Bourne. So Bourne steals second. The Gothic Knights using their speed to manufacture runs here after they did much of the damage with power earlier in the game. So with 1 out, Legato, a chance maybe to drive in Bourne and really add on to this lead. And Legato, that pitch was up around the head. And the home plate umpire, Christopher Carroll, signals that Legato was hit by the pitch. I think he's going to go out and just quickly chat with John Kozar, the field umpire, verify that that's what he saw. From our vantage point, it looked like Legato kind of got grazed on the ear flap. It's up around the head when you throw a pitch that high. They're saying it was a foul ball. They're saying that it got the tip of the bat as he was trying to get out of the way. So no hit batter, a foul ball. If you can understand me through deep congestion. Nick Legato greeted at home plate here by Dimitri Ruger and Anthony Carey. So it'll be a 2-1 count. Bourne, who singled and stole second after driving in the 10th run, in scoring position here for the Gothic Knights as they have 10 hits in a game. leading by 4. It's called strike. 2-2. Just one away here. The 2-2 count. And that's hit towards center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Board around third. He's on his way to the plate. The throw will not be made. Board scores standing. It's an RBI single for Nick Legato. And the Gothic Knights well on their way now to their 12th win. They lead 11-6.
Now batting the center fielder, number 1, Dimitri Ruger.
It'll be Dimitri Ruger stepping to the plate. He is 3 for 5 today. 2 bunt singles and an RBI single in the second. The 1 to center in the second plated the tying run, tied it at 2-2 before Andrew Nish hit a grand slam. Another throw back. And Legato's in standing. Legato fakes the run, then he goes, and he is going to be safe with the stolen base. Another steal for NJCU. Legato took 5 steps, stopped, and then he really took off full speed. That was a ball to Ruger. 3 runs home here in the bottom of the 8th. 11 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for NJCU. Marywood, 6 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. Pacers out of the Colonial States Athletic Conference. That's a called strike. That's a called strike as well. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tip held on to by the catcher, Smith. As Perez strikes out the Gothic Knight leadoff hitter. Second time Ruger struck out today, but that will bring up Andrew Nish. Andrew Nish with 2 home runs today, a grand slam, 5 RBIs. He's also walked. So 1 ball and no strikes. Legato dancing off a second. Pitch to Nish is low. Good crowd on hand today on a warm day, about 70 degrees, but overcast skies here in Jersey City. It's going to rain this weekend. The 2-0. That's a called strike. After today, the Gothic Knights are off tomorrow, and then it begins. NJAC play opens April 2nd, Saturday, as the Knights head to Mawa to take on number 3 and 4 ranked Ramapo College. That's off the plate. The Roadrunners advancing to the NCAA Division III College World Series a year ago. Seems almost every year someone in the NJAC is getting to the College World Series. That is low for a ball 4. So I'll have 5-pitch walk to Nish. He's on base for the 4th time. And I'll bring up Joe Catino.
Now batting the right fielder, number 18, Joe Catino.
That's a called strike. And the pitcher, Perez, steps off. Coutinho tweeted at us last night at about 12:30 in the morning. He was excited that a picture of his hat and sunglasses and glove were used as the one of the lead photos on NJCUGothicKnights.com. The 1-1. And that's lined through the right side for a base hit. Legato around third. He's on his way home. The throw to the plate will not be made. It's an RBI single for Joe Coutinho. And the Knights have now doubled the Marywood runs. It is 12-6. Nish goes to second on the play as Legato scores.
Now batting the third baseman, number 13, Zach Buckholz.
So that will bring up Zach Buckholz, hitting .273. He's 0 for 2 today with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. So he's been on base a lot. And that's a called strike. 33-game on-base streak for Buckholz. He will look to tie former teammate Mike Martucci for the third longest on-base streak in school history. Martucci finished last season, his senior season, with an active 34-game on-base streak. Obviously, you can't extend it because he graduated. The 0-2 pitch. And Buckholz slides that one to center field for a base hit. Nish around third. He's on his way home. And throw again will be cut off. An RBI single by Zach Buckholz. The Gothic Knights are just adding and adding here. 5 runs home in the 8th inning. And I think that's going to be it for Perez. Earhart is due up for the first time. And that will be it for the pitcher Perez. Justin Perez, the junior righty, is gone. The new pitcher will be number 21, Greg Patuto. And we'll be right back. So Sean Earhart, who came in as a pinch runner, he's now hitting. And Earhart, he's in the DH spot now as he came in pinch running earlier in this inning for Pulsini, the freshman reserve outfielder, looking for his first career hit. The The 2-0. As the new pitcher is Gregory Patuto. That's a called strike. This is the fourth appearance for Greg Patuto. That's low. 3-1. The 3-1. And it's grounded through the right side. First career hit for Sean Earhart as he's able to stick it underneath the glove of the first baseman, Sabak. So Earhart, his first career hit. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here. And pinch hitting for Berardi will be Ray Ligori.
Pinch hitting number 30, Ray Ligori.
So Ligori, the pinch hitter. First pitch is a called strike. Rookie pitcher of the week in the NJAC last week. He also plays the field. Typically the corner infield position, third and first. And Ligori is looking for his first career hit as well. He's had 3 at-bats coming in. Swings and misses at that curve off the plate. And it's 1-2 with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Ligori is the 11th batter of the inning for the Gothic Knights. 13-6 is the lead. 5 runs home here in the 8th. That's off the plate, rolls away, but not far enough for any advancement. And it's 2-2. The 2-2. That's high, and the count is full at 3-2. In case you were wondering, Ligori has not produced an RBI yet either. The 3-2 pitch. Slow ground ball towards second base. Ligori flips the bat, and it's booted by the second baseman rebar, and everyone is safe. He had all the time, and he took his eye off the ball, and an error scores the 14th run. So an unearned run, no RBIs, and we have pitch hitter here in Chris Stevenson. Well, the Knights have done this year, scoring in late innings. Tuesday, they scored 6 in the 9th to beat Baruch 9-3. Scored 5 yesterday in the 7th to beat Maritime, and they scored 6 here, leading by 2 in the 8th inning. It's now 14-6, and that's fouled away. One ball and 1 strike. It's off the plate low. It's 2-1. Stevenson popped it straight up. The catcher, Smith, drops his mask, backpedals, and he cannot make the catch. It's going to fall in for a single, and everyone is safe. So Stevenson gets credit for the RBI single. And an RBI, Ligori and Earhart advance. Buckled scores unearned. And Taylor Board, who pinch hit earlier in this inning, back up again. Bourne, who had an RBI single in his first at bat. And that's hit off to our right foul. So a two-strike count to Taylor Bourne, hitting .346 on the year. 13th batter of the inning. That's high. Gothic Knights leading 15-6. Fouled off again to our right. One ball and two strikes. Patudo deals. And that's hit in the air down the right field line. It's going to drift foul. Gothic Knights out with 15 runs and 15 hits. And that's again fouled off. Same spot down the right field line. The 1-2. One more time, same spot. Bourne really likes that one little corner out there that separates the fans from the right field foul line. The 1-2. And that's chopped foul. So Bourne staying alive. His sixth foul ball of this at bat. Ninth pitch of the at bat coming right here by Patudo. That's ball number 2 as it kisses the dirt on the other side of the batter's box. The 2-2. Ground ball to short. Flip to second as Hull flips to rebar. And the inning mercifully comes to an end. But not before the Gothic Knights score 7 runs on 7 hits. 1 error and 3 left. We head to the 9th inning. 15-6 NJCU looking for win number 12. So some changes for the Knights here in the ninth. New pitcher is Sean Gibney. New catcher is Matt Jacobson. Liguori stays in. He plays first. Bourne stays in. He plays second. Stevenson, he is in left field. And a pinch hitter here is number 6, Kevin McDonough. And the sidearm delivery, ground ball. Liguori's there, flips to Gibney, and he beats the runner to the bag for the first out. So a 3-1, nicely done. And a pinch hitter will be number 34, Bill Chunka. McDonough, who just pinch hit, was from Union, New Jersey. Next home game after today will be next Friday against Rutgers Newark, a 3:30 start. First home NJAC game of the year. That's fouled off. And if I don't kick this sinus infection between now and next week, well, that's going to be a pretty bad week. The 1-1. It's low. The 2-1 by Gibney. A little high. For Sean Gibney, the sophomore right-hander, sidearm delivery out of Rutherford, New Jersey, St. Mary's Rutherford High School. Fourth appearance of the year. That's a called strike. Gibney's thrown 1 and a third innings on the year. Ground ball, foul, and it will stay 3-2. So, Chunka trying to keep Marywood alive. And that is low for ball 4. So 1 away. And he'll bring up the catcher, Smith.
Now batting the catcher, number 13, Tommy Smith.
Smith grounded into a double play his last at bat. First pitch by Gibney was a called strike. Popped straight up. Liguori, fair territory, makes the catch. And it's 2 away. And pitch hitting will be number 33, Alan Nieto, junior left-handed hitter from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. And that is fouled down the left field line. Elijah Pereira will be the winning pitcher. He will improve to 2-0 on the season. In relief of Kyle Kafer in the dirt. One ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. Foul tip. And the Pacers are down to their final strike. Marywood will drop to 4-9 with the loss today. The Gothic Knights will have their best record after 16 games. And they do. As Gibney, his first strikeout of the season, he strikes out Nieto, and the Gothic Knights allow just 1 base runner in the 9th, and they win today 15-6. They are now 12-4 in the year. They've won 5 in a row, and they are playing the best baseball this program has